Welcome to this video on culturally responsive teaching. What do we mean when we talk about culture? Many of us teach things related to culture all of the time. However, there are different ways of seeing culture within our students. Generally, we teach culture when we're talking about traditions, language, arts, food, and countries. However, when we think about culturally responsive teaching, we have to look below the surface of culture. What below the surface means is that there are many other aspects of culture that need to be taken into consideration. Culture is also unconscious beliefs and norms, such as concepts of time, contact, honesty, fairness, and so on. If we take a look at the cultural iceberg, we may find that many of us focus on culture in the easy way, such as I said before, language, dress, food, and holidays. However, if we're going to think about different cultures within a classroom, we also have to look at what's difficult to see. Some of the areas that are difficult to see are beliefs, family roles, core values, body language, and attitudes towards education. As you can see, there's a lot to unpack here related to deep culture. A lot goes into promoting a culturally responsive classroom. However, there are 3 things we can start doing right away. These 3 tips will help you get on your way. One of the first things you can do in your classroom is to begin building trust with your students. This is the key to all social interaction. When we trust someone, our system and brain reacts in a positive manner. What are some things that teachers can do to promote trust? Think about the ways that you welcome your students into your classroom. Think about what your body language tells your students. And lastly, think about how safe your students feel about sharing and participating in the classroom. How could you improve all of these to better promote a sense of trust? The second thing has to do with promoting theory of mind and empathy. When we have a culturally responsive classroom, we aren't just talking about teacher to student, we're also talking about student to student. And there are 2 things that go hand in hand: theory of mind and empathy. People who study development of personality and the mind tell us that empathy can start around the age of 2, and theory of mind comes online around between the ages of 4 and 5. These are skills that sadly not everyone develops. This is the ability to put yourself in the shoes of another person. As you could probably guess, this is really important if you want to have a culturally responsive classroom. Some ways that you can develop the promotion of theory of mind and empathy are by including specific questions in your lessons that ask, how do you think this person feels? What do you think this person wants? Why do they want that or feel that way? Does everyone think the same way? Do other people have minds, thoughts, and opinions? Start asking some of these questions in your classrooms and get your students thinking about others. Lastly, as we saw in the culture tree and the iceberg, culture goes much deeper than just language, food, or clothes. We need to tap into some of the deeper cultural aspects when we're teaching. Many of us were taught in our teacher training about the importance of activating prior knowledge when we're teaching something new. We are supposed to connect new material or language to what's already in the brain. Now that's great if everyone has the same prior knowledge. But as we could see from the cultural iceberg, our prior knowledge can be very different if it's related to a deep cultural aspect. As the teacher, try to be more open to possibilities that students' prior knowledge might vary based on culture. Be open to this and let your students share and express themselves freely. If you're interested in learning more about culturally responsive teaching, be sure to check out the work of Zaretta Hammond and her book, Culturally Responsive Teaching and the Brain. You can also find a lot of information online by searching Culturally Responsive Teaching. Thanks, and see you in the next video.